The PKE meter's going off the chart. That can mean only one thing. The Ghostbusters are on the Popper's Pit. Up next.
If you wanna know what pops to get, then pop on down to the Poppers Pit. Like, share, subscribe are the buttons to hit when you pop on by to the Poppers Pit.
What's poppin', poppers, and happy Halloween! This is the Poppers Pit, the place where I share my love of Funko Pops with you. And as I said, I'm putting this out on Halloween 2019. And if you want to give out some last-minute treats to those trick-or-treaters, you can hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And when I say trick-or-treaters, I mean me. So I'd really appreciate it. And also, if you don't like that candy corn and black licorice, you can send it on this way. Now, in my video where I modify my proton pack from Ghostbusters with the V-hook and the Alice frame, if you watched it, the whole thing, you get a gold star because once again, it was about an hour long. If you're watching this for the Pops, I open the Dwight with the bobblehead from the 2019 Comic-Con at around the 51-minute mark, but I'll put a link up there for you. I mentioned about how I love Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is one of my favorite movies of all time. I can quote it, I can listen to it and know what's going on. I know the music cues. It's just one of my favorite movies. It's been part of my childhood, part of my growing up. It's been teenage, adults, now. I love it. And it's been a classic since 1984, June 8th, 1984, which means it came out before I was born. Not too much, but still, it came out before I was born. And it was directed by Ivan Reitman. It was written by, what's his name, Harold Ramis and Dan Akroyd, who played Egon and Ray Stantz. And it's just such a good movie. Ghostbusters 2, I know that some people have their reservations about it. I loved it. But same thing like with Teen Wolf, where it's an emotional love of it. I still think it's a good movie by itself either way. But, so let's go into the Pops. Funko released 2 waves of Ghostbusters. The one came out in 2014 for the 30th anniversary, and recently they came out with a 35th anniversary. I don't have all of them, but I have a good deal of them. There's actually only a few that I'm missing from the first wave. I didn't get the Gozer, Gatekeeper, and Keymaster. I regret that because I did have it in my hands at a Walmart in 2016, so I could have had it. And now it's a little bit pricey, but I'll eventually probably give in and buy it. That way I can have the set. And there's also a set of the Ghostbusters after their battle with Stay Puft the Marshmallow Man, where they're covered in marshmallow. And that was a Comic-Con exclusive in 2014. Maybe I'll get that. I don't know. We'll see. But let me show you my Pops that I have right now. And we're going to start with one from the 35th anniversary. And this is the Scary Library Ghost. This is the first ghost that is encountered in Ghostbusters when you watch the movie. This is the one that scares off the librarian, which kicks off the rest of the movie. This is a free-floating corporal presence. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not a big fan of this figure. I got it because it was part of the set. I don't think it looks like the ghost from the movie. It looks more like a zombie. I mean, I'm going to be putting up a picture of what they look like, but I don't know. I would have done something a little bit different. Maybe put a terror dog instead of her. But either way, it's here. We got her. If you play the Ghostbusters video game, the one that came out in 2019, and 2019 was the remastered version, but the 2009 version, which was around the 25th anniversary of Ghostbusters, they go in a little bit more about her backstory. It's a little weird. Actually, to be honest with you, I recently replayed the game, which it's a fantastic game. If you haven't played it yet, get it. A lot of people consider it the true Ghostbusters 3 because it takes place in the 90s, and I highly recommend it. It's really, really good. Either you get the original one or they have the remastered one, as I said, for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and the Switch. And the original one that came out was for PlayStation 3, Wii, and Xbox 360. I had the 360 version. And the Wii version, but I played the 360 version more. So let's move back on to the Pops. Now, the next one is the first of many Peter Venkman Pops that I have, and that's just because they released a lot of Peter Venkman, as I'll show you. Okay. So, the one on your right, or your left, this one, it's a little weird on the camera here. So, it's my right, your left, is the 30th anniversary Pop of Ghostbusters, and the one on your right is the 35th anniversary. And what I like about these figures right now is you can see the evolution of Funko Pops, because you can see about how it was, even though they're very detailed in the 30th anniversary one, the one that says 104, just the one that just recently came out, the 35th anniversary one, it's almost like it's a figurine of Bill Murray. I mean, you could see that the original one doesn't have any eyebrows. This one has eyebrows. The hair is a little bit more detailed. I mean, they're both great figures, and especially the one from 2014 is a good figure for its time. But you can see that Funko really upped their production. And I also like to point out something first, is that even though that Winston is being advertised here as a standalone Pop, he only came out with the Ecto-1. I just recently found that out because I noticed that he was on the back, and I'm like, whoa, I don't have that one. Let me see if I have to get it. And people were asking, they have 107, and I've never seen it available, and I'm looking online for it. But, so they do not have a 107 Winston Zedmore. So don't go crazy looking for it if you have the Ghostbuster Pops already, or if you get them because you like this. So Peter Venkman, he is the carefree Ghostbuster. He's a doctor, but he kind of faked his way through it. Best way to describe him is that it's like that joke, what do you call the person that graduates last in medical school? Doctor, where he just barely graduated and doesn't really understand everything, but he still graduated somehow. Bill Murray, the great Bill Murray, portrays him in the movie. He is one of the best characters in the movie. Just a lot of his lines were ad-libbed, but Venkman's got some great lines. He ends up getting slimed by Slimer, which we'll go into a little bit later. So, we're going to move on to Ray Stantz. Now, Ray Stantz is he's the utility guy of the Ghostbusters. He's got the brains. He's got the technical know-how. He fixed up the Ecto-1. He creates things. He has a full understanding of the spirit world and of paranormal studies. He is played by Dan Akroyd. He is my personal favorite Ghostbuster. A quick story is that one of my friends, Kendra McGossam, we were recently talking about who would be who in the Ghostbusters, and they said I would be the Ray of the Ghostbusters, and I took that as a huge compliment, so thank you. And as you can see, the differences here, they have the eyebrows on one and not the other. The Ecto goggles, there's a big difference where the one from 2014, it's just black, but the one that was recently released in 2019 has the actual colors. There's a lot more detail. They're both holding traps. I mean, they're both good pops, but the one from 2019 blows the other one away in terms of detail. Other than that, I mean, I'm not going to grade any of them because you can't really grade Ghostbusters. And we're going to move on to the Egon Spengler, which I have over here. Now, Egon was the pop that I spent a little bit more than I usually would have on a Funko Pop. And that's because when these pops just were released a couple of months after, Harold Ramis, the actor who portrayed Egon, unfortunately died. So they ended up bolting the Egon. It went from being like $9 on Amazon to being almost $100. I bought mine as part of a 4-pack. I have a super duper protector on it because it's one of the more sought after pops. I think probably the value went down a little bit as they put the re-release. But as you can see, one of the things that I like about this pop that the 2014 pop that the 2019 pop doesn't have is he's holding the PKE meter in this one. And I don't know why he's holding a walkie-talkie, but they used walkie-talkies, but it's good that he has the PKE meter, though. This one, he is holding the neutron wand. But as I said, Harold Ramis plays him. He is the brains of the Ghostbusters. He's the one that knows he creates the blasters, creates the ecto containment unit. He's very well versed in the spirit world and all the science. He's the brains of the Ghostbusters. And I just noticed one of the difference too is that the 35th anniversary has brown hair and this one has black hair, which I guess Harold Ramis did have more brown hair than black hair. And this looks a lot like Harold Ramis. It's so excellent job by the sculptors. And as I said, you could see the evolution of the Funko Pops. All right, so we are going to move on. Next up, we have the Peter Venkman with the Firehouse. Now, this was one of the more recent ones. This is the Pop Town. This is actually Pop Town 3. I don't know what the other two are, but I know recently they released Beetlejuice and a couple of things. This is where they have buildings now. This is the Hook and Ladder. I want to say Hook and Ladder 9 in New York City, which the movie, the exterior was filmed in New York. So it has the actual outside of the building. You can go see it. They actually they have the Ghostbusters 2 sign there in storage. They don't have it displayed all the time. They did put it up when Harold Ramis died, so that was very nice of them. Other than that, I don't think it's been up recently. But the exterior was filmed in New York and the interior was filmed out in LA in a studio or another broken down firehouse. I'm not 100% sure right now, but either way, this is Peter Venkman. As you can see, he has the marshmallows on him, so this is after their battle with Stay Puft the Marshmallow Man. So the Ghostbusters, they buy this firehouse to be their headquarters. You can see here a little bit bigger the back and the front. So they use an old firehouse as their base of operations. They build the ecto containment unit in the basement. They live there. Well, they don't live there, but they spend a lot of their time there. Just gonna move this back over here as we move on to the Slimers. Now, there is a bit of a difference between the two Slimers. Slimer is known as Onion Head, really, when he was on the set, and then they ended up changing it to Slimer when the real Ghostbusters came out, and he became more of a character. They thought on set that this was the ghost of John Belushi, who died a few years before they filmed the Ghostbusters. John Belushi actually would have been in Ghostbusters had he not died. And also Eddie Murphy was supposed to be in Ghostbusters, but he chose to do a Beverly Hills Cop, which also has a Funko set. I don't have any of those, though, but it's interesting that they both have Funko Pops. So Slimer he eats everything on sight. Modeled after John Belushi. as his scene as Bluto in Animal House, where he's just eating everything in the what do you call it, the cafeteria. The 30th anniversary one is just him floating and screaming, and the 35th anniversary one, as you can see, he's eating hot dogs. They both have this slime aura to them. It's good to have. He just looks a little bit weird. I kind of wish that they would have put the yellow eyes on him as he does in the movie, but you know, it is what it is, right? Or did he have yellow in the movie? I think he had yellow in the movie. I know definitely in the cartoon he had yellow. But these are good pops to have, especially if you're a fan of the Ghostbusters and the real Ghostbusters cartoon show. So the Ghostbusters get called to a hotel, which I can't remember the name right now, where they are called in to take on Slimer. They get called in to take on Slimer, and they go through. Slimer ends up sliming. Whoops. Slimer ends up sliming Peter Venkman, and I'll show this pop. It is a exclusive to GameStop, and it looks like the Ghost Trap. The it says Ecto Containment Unit, but it's really a trap. I'll show the top two, which I'll put in comparison to the Spirit Halloween Ghost Trap that they have. So, not too bad. Alright, so they have this, and this contains a Funko Pop of Peter Venkman being slimed, and it has a Ghost Battle shirt of Peter Venkman versus Slimer, because he got slimed, he's on the floor, he slimed me, Ray. Bugger, and he can't move, and Ray comes up, Venkman got slimed, that's perfect, and Egon wants a sample, and Peter's all annoyed that he got slimed. So what ends up happening is that I'm holding this in my hand. I'm contemplating if I want to open it right now. I kind of do, kind of don't. Because the pop's inside here. Actually, I don't know if it comes in a box. I'll have to check that. So I'll let you know later. I can see that the shirt's wrapped up in there around the pop, maybe. I'm not sure. You know what? Let's do it. Let's live a little. Okay, we're gonna do the impromptu unboxing here because I want to see it. All right. Let's see what we got. As long as we keep that sticker on, we should be okay. Alright, how does this open? Looks like it opens up here. Okay. Alright. And I was right. Okay. Here we go. And this is a Peter Venkman 744, where he is slimed. I just want to give a quick second to see the other Venkman, to see if it's the same number. This is a different pop entirely, or if this is just a variant of it. So let me just pull this up. Nope, this is a variant, because I'll show you. They have the same number there, and it's just a different... it's a different design. So this is what we call a variant. I plan on doing a show where I explain the different terms of Funko Pops. So I'm actually planning on doing that next. So hit that like, share, and subscribe. And when you subscribe, if you hit that bell, you know when the videos come out. That way you'll know when my Funko class show comes out. So, all right. But either way, this is Peter being slimed by Slimer. It looks exactly the same as this one, and just a different variation. But it was on sale and I bought it, and I have no regrets about doing that. So, Oh, wow. All right, so let me just, I'll put this to the side. Let's see what the shirt looks like real quick. All right, I don't know if you can see this. It is Ghost Battle, and then it has Slimer versus Venkman. Who will win? Who will you call? That's good. A variation of the who you're gonna call. Ghostbusters. So, all right. So I'm just gonna put this to the side here, and I'll put these here. I'm getting overrun with Funkos, people. So, back to the story. Is that they end up trapping Slimer inside the ghost trap, and this is a movie moments banquet. This is with Egon and Peter putting Slimer into the trap. You can see the proton streams and the trap going up, and in this scene they have he said, "Oh, lower the problems. The stream. I don't want you burning up my face." Notice that the streams are not crossed, because if you cross the streams, imagine all molecules in life exploding all at the same time. So, number one rule of ghost busting is don't cross the streams. So they trap Slimer, and business picks up for them. And what ends up happening is that they have to go and hire a new employee because they have too much to do. So they hire Winston Zedmore, played by Ernie Hudson. And he is an ex-Marine. He has no background in paranormal experience. As he said, I'll say yes to whatever gets me a job. And he ends up working. He's the technical guy of the Ghostbusters now. They have him when it came out in 2014 with the originals. He is included in the Ecto-1. The Ecto-1 is the Ghostbusters vehicle. It is a modified Cadillac ambulance. This is what the ambulances used to look like in the 50s. He comes in here. I recently realized that he has a proton pack in here, because originally I didn't know if he did, but I looked online and I saw, if you can see on his picture here, there's the straps to him wearing the proton pack. So once again, you can see the difference in detail between the two celebrations, the 35th and the 30th, and the evolution of Funko Pop. And this is actually a very good representation of the Ecto-1. Very good. All right, let me put these here. So now what ends up happening is that the Ghostbusters, they do their busting. Walter Peck of the Environmental Protection Agency comes in, shuts them down. While all this is all going on, Dana Barrett, the first customer of the Ghostbusters, gets possessed by the gatekeeper, I do believe. And then her neighbor, Louis Tully, gets possessed by the Keymaster. And they end up meeting together and unleashing the demon Zool, and who is the Conqueror. And then Gozer is also involved there. Who's in the form of a terror dog. As I said, there's a 3-pack. I don't know if I said it yet, but there was a 3-pack which had the Dana Barrett, Zool as a terror dog, and Louis Tully as the Keymaster, all together. And then what ends up happening is that they go up and they end up fighting the Gozer, and they ask him to select a destroyer. So what ends up happening is Venkman tells everybody, don't think of anything, clear your mind, because, if we choose it, then they're going to come. And all of a sudden, Ray chose the destroyer. And he chose Stay Puft the Marshmallow Man, who is the mascot of of a brand of marshmallows within the Ghostbusters universe. This is a 6-inch pop, which is double the size of a regular pop. This is from the 30th anniversary. So this one's a little bit bigger than the other pops. This is about the same size as, I don't know if you can see behind me, but I have a Hulk from Endgame, which was in one of my episodes with the Mick Awesome. So I'll link that one up there. That way you can see the Mick Awesome haul. So Stay Puft, staple of my childhood. I had the figures. It was just good. So I bought this one, and recently GameStop had a sale, and it's a GameStop exclusive, and I thought it was going to be another one of these, but it ended up being a 10-inch pop, which is about the size of the Ultra Megazord from one of the mystery boxes that I had. And I can't even really get this here. This is part of the Funko Insider Club. I actually got this for $12 instead of the $30 that it usually is. So, go me. And so I have this, and it's just a really big Stay Puft. So, I mean, if I took these out of the boxes, this would make a perfect display for them. It's like fighting the Marshmallow Man, even though that they never really fought him from down below, they always had him up top, but still that would make a good visual. So if you like doing photography, which I see a lot of you on Instagram to have their pops out of the boxes and do the photographies, this is really good to have to take good Ghostbusters pictures. So, and then I don't want to spoil the ending, but as you saw with the Venkman, the movie ends with all of them covered in marshmallow goop. And if I had the 4-pack San Diego Comic-Con 2014 exclusive, I'd have all 4 of them in goop. But I do not yet. But here is what happened after. So, those are my Ghostbusters pops for Halloween. If you haven't watched the movie, watch it. It's on Netflix a lot, I think, or Prime. There's plenty of ways, and DVDs aren't too expensive of them. The Blu-rays, they have the 2-pack for like $10 most of the places. So it's definitely something you have to watch at least once. I know there's a couple of people who told me, hey, I've never really seen that movie. And I look at them like, how can you not have seen the greatest movie in history? And they just don't respond to that. But either way, I love Ghostbusters. As you can see, I have the proton pack and my PKE meter here. I just love Ghostbusters. Well, this looks like a good place to end the episode. I'm going to remind you that on November 9th, the WUWW has November to Remember. I'll put their Instagram information below. And while you're on Instagram, you can follow me at ThePopersPit. Please follow me, because I'm going to be announcing soon that I will have my first giveaway. I bought 2 extra Ghostbuster pops, and I'm going to use it as a giveaway. And once I hit a certain number of subscribers, I'm going to do that. So please follow me there. I'll also let you know on here for the regular viewers. So I would really appreciate if you can just follow me on there, spread the word of the Poppers Pit around, and we can do that. And I'd also like to hear from you in that comment section. Which one of these pops were your favorite? What do you think of the difference between the 2014 and 2019 pops? Which one do you prefer? I actually prefer the 2019s a little bit better, just because of the detail. But as I said, if I didn't have the 2019s, the 2014s would have been fine. Just put down in the comment section if you have any suggestions for the shows. If you want to show me your pops, you can put hashtag other people's pops on Instagram, or you can email me the picture to the email down below, and I'll feature it on the show here. And happy Halloween once again. Please be safe trick-or-treating. Watch both ways when you go back and forth. A little trick that I used to do is you ring the doorbell, take 2 steps back, that way that when the door opens up you don't get hit. So with that, I'm going to give a little reading. And yes, it says we're going to end this on a pop. Thanks for popping by. Make sure to please hit that like, share, and subscribe button, as well as pressing that bell icon. That way you can be alerted the next time the Poppers Pit has a new video. Also, check out my other videos. Leave a comment. Check out the description, which has a couple of links to the Pals of the Pit. Alright, Can't wait to see you next time.
Like, share, subscribe are the buttons to hit when you pop on by to the Poppers Pit.